People like to say that success is complicated, that life is unfair, that luck chooses the few and ignores the many. And maybe there's some truth in that. Maybe the world doesn't always reward the right people at the right time. But if there's one thing I've seen again and again, through my own life and the lives of others, it's this: hard work does not guarantee success, but without it, success is guaranteed not to happen. That's the part most people avoid admitting. They want magic, shortcuts, hacks, something effortless. They want to believe the world owes them something simply because they're trying. But life isn't a vending machine. It doesn't give you what you want, it gives you what you persist for. I remember meeting a boy years ago, let's call him Daniel. He grew up in poverty, the kind of poverty that doesn't just limit your opportunities but strangles your sense of possibility. People looked at him with pity, sometimes even annoyance. And here's the harsh judgment I still stand by: society is incredibly good at giving up on people long before they give up on themselves. Everyone assumed Daniel would fail, that he would drift through life doing small things, existing rather than living. But Daniel had something most people underestimate: a quiet, stubborn work ethic that didn't need applause. I remember meeting a boy years ago, let's call him Daniel. He grew up in poverty, the kind of poverty that doesn't just limit your opportunities but strangles your sense of possibility. People looked at him with pity, sometimes even annoyance. And here's the harsh judgment I still stand by: society is incredibly good at giving up on people long before they give up on themselves. Everyone assumed Daniel would fail, that he would drift through life doing small things, existing rather than living. But Daniel had something most people underestimate: a quiet, stubborn work ethic that didn't need applause. He started at a local workshop, fixing broken chairs, sweeping dusty floors, repairing cracked tables. He wasn't talented, in fact, he was terrible at first. But he did something rare: he didn't quit. And one day, the old master who owned the shop told him something that stuck with me for years: people think talent makes a craftsman. They're wrong. The willingness to return after failure, that's what makes one. I think about that often. How many people stop right before they were about to improve? How many walk away because the first attempt wasn't perfect? But Daniel isn't the only story I think about. There was another person, a woman I once worked with, who always blamed the world for her stagnation. She said opportunities never came her way, but what she didn't see was that she never prepared for the opportunities she claimed she wanted. She read motivational quotes, talked about success, dreamed out loud, but when it came to real action, she froze. She thought effort should feel good, inspiring, cinematic. But here's an uncomfortable truth: real effort is boring most of the time. It's repetitive, lonely, and invisible. That's why most people don't do it. And maybe that's why hard work seems unfair, because it demands consistency even when no one is watching. My own thoughts changed once I realized that life is less about grand gestures and more about the small, unglamorous things you repeat every day. People love the idea of discipline, but hate the reality of it. They want results, not routine. But the routine, the grind, that's where people are made. And if I judge anything harshly, it's the modern belief that discomfort means something is wrong. No. Discomfort often means something is working. Let me give you another story. A friend of mine, Marcus, gave up his dream of becoming a musician at 19. He said he wasn't good enough. But years later he confessed something painful: it wasn't lack of talent that stopped him, it was the fear of being average. He wanted to be exceptional instantly. And because he was not instantly exceptional, he quit. That's a trap so many fall into: the belief that greatness is immediate, that skill is something you either have or you don't. It's simply not true. Greatness is the reward life gives to the ones stubborn enough to keep going. Here's a life hack I learned the hard way. Don't chase motivation. Build habits small enough that quitting feels unnatural. Motivation comes and goes, discipline stays and grows. And the people who rely only on motivation burn out quickly. Those who rely on structure, progress, even slowly, they move forward whether they feel like it or not. But let me be honest for a moment. Hard work doesn't always give you what you want. Sometimes it gives you something else: resilience, clarity, identity. The world might not reward every effort, but every effort shapes you. And often, becoming the person capable of success is more valuable than any achievement itself. The interesting thing is, the more you work, the more opportunities start to appear. It's not magic, it's visibility. When you show up consistently, people notice, even if silently. The right moment eventually arrives, but only for those who are standing at the door when it knocks. Going back to Daniel, years later he opened his own workshop. Not because he had some lucky break, but because he built the skills, the reputation, the reliability. He created value long before anyone recognized it. And one day, someone from a major design firm found his work and offered him a contract that changed everything. People said he was lucky. I disagree. He wasn't lucky. He was prepared when luck finally visited. And that's another uncomfortable truth. People call it luck when they don't want to acknowledge someone else's work. I've also learned that the journey matters more than the milestone. Because when you work consistently, the goal isn't just success, the goal is transformation. You stop fearing failure because you've lived through it so many times. You stop waiting for permission because you've proven you don't need it. You stop comparing yourself to others because you finally understand how much effort goes into your own progress. Hard work strips you down but rebuilds you stronger. It destroys illusions but gives you confidence. And maybe that's why it always wins, not because it gives you everything, but because it leaves you with something no one can take away: self-respect. So no, this isn't a speech telling you that hard work guarantees wealth or recognition or fame. It's not a fairy tale. It's simply the truth: hard work guarantees growth, and growth is the foundation of every meaningful success. You may not win immediately. You may not win quickly. But if you outlast doubt, outlast laziness, outlast fear, then yes, eventually, inevitably, undeniably, hard work wins. And when it wins honestly.